ungodly 10 to 6 in the morning. Still pretty dark. Not sure what I'm doing, but DoorDash says from 4 a.m. until 10 today, Friday, for some reason they offer $3.50 extra for each delivery. So I set up my alarm for 4 o'clock. Got up, opened the app, look at the screen, the entire Calgary is dead, right? Okay, I set up the alarm again for 5 o'clock. Open the app at 5, Calgary is still dead, no red areas, everything is gray. But then finally at 5:30 I see that south, I think south and northwest were red, and that for me that was the indication that soon it'll be busy. And so now 6 o'clock I was able to, you know, my area, Calgary East, showed as red, but as I know, usually, I don't know if you can see, so I'm over here at the very top of Calgary, but the busy hotspot zones are all south of me, south of the airport. So there's nothing here because it's a residential area and it's not exactly affluent, right? So I'm moving to Calgary North. I just need to cross Highway 2 because that area is way better than this. Because yeah, this week was very slow. Monday, Tuesday, you know, I did not make much money, even though I was sitting in my car a lot. Last week was nice, but hopefully I'll make something, you know, in this last 3 days, because they pay us every Tuesday for the previous week. So for my Tuesday paycheck to be good, I have to make a killing these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And there's no snow, which is not good for deliveries, but it's minus 19 Celsius, but which is far cry from minus 36 we had last week. But I wanted to take you guys along, just show you the early morning Calgary. And this time I'm recording, of course, with my GoPro instead of my dash cam. But the dash cam is ready to go in case I see some catastrophic accidents, you know. All I gotta do is just plug in the USB-C cable into my plug near the phone over there. Oh, my steering wheel is getting hot because when I start the car, when I use my remote start, I set it up so that my seats and the steering wheel are heated, and which comes in very handy, you know. You let the car idle for like 10 minutes and you come in, the seat is hot, the steering wheel is warm. So yeah, this Jeep has lots of bells and whistles. And yesterday I was driving yesterday as well, so, and I was at a quarter of a tank, and you know what they say, it's always good to have full tank in cold weather for the night. Some guy sitting on my bumper, like, come on, you wanna go, go. And so I went to Co-op. You know, we have this, I don't know if they have it in the States, something like this, but basically, you know, you become a member of this like a tiny engine problem in this Honda Civic, but the guy put in like a big muffler. Sounds actually pretty good. And so yeah, I became a member of this co-op, and so now when I go to the, like, it's a chain, right? But every city has their own, you have to download the app, right? So I finally downloaded that Calgary Co-op app. It's on my phone, registered, they assigned me the member number, and now they just send me a card in the mail. So now I can use their fuel stations, I can use the liquor stores, and they also have grocery stores. And when you shop, you collect points, you know. And so yesterday I went and I got some nice 91 octane gas, but prices went up because of all this stuff happening in the Red Sea, right? 91 used to be like $1.30, $1.35, now it's $1.50 per liter. But I really don't like 87 or 89, even though technically the Jeep the Jeep does not require premium gas, but I just find that it pulls better. And since, you know, I'm making a killing with these deliveries, right? I'm gonna be a millionaire in no time, so I might as well, I can afford good gas. Now what's funny about these winter tires, one thing I don't like about the winter tires, they hardly spin. You know, when I'm trying to go like what I used to do in Cambridge, Ontario, when I had the Challenger and Charger, you know, you push gas and the car goes like this, right? Like you can do donuts in the snow. This thing just stays as if it's, you know, baked in. It does slide in occasionally when there's like pure ice. Actually, yesterday I was at an intersection and the road was, you know, there was like a hill going this way, and I come to the lights and I push brake and I'm like, I don't know, 0.05 kilometers an hour, right? And all of a sudden the car starts slowly moving forward with all the wheels locked. Like, holy moly, there's a guy in front of me, but he's like 5 meters away because I was very cautious. But pure ice, you know, no, they didn't put any sand or nothing. And I look in the mirror, the guy behind me, I was afraid he would hit me because, you know, we all started sliding like slowly, you know, like as if we were on skates. It was unbelievable. And that's why in Calgary you need winter tires, because I'm telling you, like compared to Ontario, road maintenance is like, I would say, well, not 1 out of 5, but I would say 3 out of 5 can definitely you know, have some improvement. See, like this, I can see this is ice. Brr. And which helps because you can see the ice, right, when it glistens in the light. And that's it. So that's the sign for Highway 2. And so as soon as I cross Highway 2, I'm in Calgary North as per DoorDash classification. So Calgary, this is Calgary East. Now we are entering Calgary North. And I brought my camera with me today with my nice 105mm lens, because it's been a while since I uploaded anything to my Instagram, you know, like street photography wise. and you know, you drive around, maybe I'll see something interesting. So my camera is in this little bag, and I got some coffee, so don't have to spend money at a coffee shop. I did a mix of decaf and regular. And this spot was also, you see, like situation like this, when the road goes down, and quite often there's ice at the end, but not on this one. This one, it's just snow. Yeah, so now I'm outside. It says you're outside, so we can just end this dash. Oh, there's nothing, it's all gray. All the red zones, the only red zone is the very south of Calgary. See, this is BS. And they were saying we'll pay you $3.50 per each order between 4 and 10. So if I would have come out at 4, I'll be sitting on my butt, you know, doing nothing. I'm not sure how they come up with these forecasts for demand. For some reason they thought that it would be like, who's ordering at 4 in the morning? You know, I even did a search on Google, what's open 24/7, and of course it's funny, but there was hardly any food places, but all liquor stores. Like the list had pretty much like 99.9% liquor stores. So it turns out we have 24/7 liquor stores. And finally, I don't know if I mentioned this, but finally, after like 10 attempts and 2 calls to the support, I managed to upload my ProServe certificate to DoorDash. And I already noticed when they show hotspots, a couple of times I see that the actual hotspot is a liquor store, because it says something like Saddle Ridge Liquor, for example. And so now I should be able to do liquor deliveries both with DoorDash and Uber. You know, it's always a good thing. You're just trying to help out fellow alcoholics, you know. I think it's an honest living. Alright, so this is the spot. So we have McDonald's here, we have Starbucks, we have Edo Japan over there, we have Subway, and over there also next to Edo Japan we have Thai cuisine, Dairy Queen over here. Usually it's a nice spot to sit at. Oh, and also recently this one was busy. This one on the left, Kinjo, what is it called? Yeah, Kinjo Steak and Grill. And it turns out it's Japanese place, kind of like Thai. I got a lot of orders from there, so I know where to go, what to do, you know. Basically you go to the counter and you say, hey, DoorDash for name or order number, and they check. Okay, wait over there 5 minutes. All right. And so now, since I've been taking all orders, I can check on my rating. My acceptance rate is 90%, which is high. Before I was at 48, and they were giving me cheap loads orders, and now they say keep your accepted rate above 50% to be prioritized for higher paying orders. So I'm doing that right. And then customer rating is 5 out of 5. Basically communication, order handling, because I follow his instructions. Because, you know, when they say don't ring the bell, I don't ring the bell. I read. It's, you have, I'm telling you, like with this job, it's not as simple as like you, I don't know, you're a server. You have to be detail oriented. And so basically I have 5-star rating from my customers, you know. And completion rate 99%. That's one time when I had to cancel one order. They sent me on Stephen Avenue, which is like a pedestrian zone, and there's absolutely nowhere to park. And for the risk of getting a ticket, I just sent, guys, I have an issue. Okay, what can we help you with? Would you like to be unassigned with no pay? Basically, cancel the order. I said, yeah, cancel. What's the reason? Cannot find parking, which was the truth. And that's why it's 99. Usually it's 100%. And then on time or early, 90%. And that's completely not my fault, because, you know, quite often you go into a restaurant and you sit there for 5-10 minutes, you know. I don't want to cancel, but they do give me an option. If the order is not ready, I can, okay, I don't want to wait, but what's the point? And then the other most important thing is lifetime deliveries. I'm sitting in 164 because I did, in the summer, I did this probably for a month and a half, right? I think I finished at like 75, but then I started December. And since now I'm taking pretty much all orders, I'm at 164. And I need to bring that number to 200. Because when you have 200 deliveries, and your acceptance rate is above 70%, and your customer rating is, I think, at least 4 or something out of 5, you get priority. You climb kind of like another ladder, and you get priority on see, like Calgary North, unavailable at this time, but there's one live promo. $3.50 added to every delivery. Which delivery? There's no orders. And you see, I was right to leave Calgary East because there's nothing there. But there should be some reason why these guys, like Starbucks, right? See, Starbucks is open. Actually, I checked on the Google Maps. What time does Starbucks open, and why do they open so early, right? Like in my area, Cityscape there, that's the nearest Starbucks, they open at 5:30 today on Friday. Like other days they open like at 6, but Friday they open early. These guys, I think, open at 6, and it was the same with when I lived in Cambridge, Ontario. Not lived, but some people might want to correct me, right? Because I didn't have a house, I did not have an apartment, but I was living a dream, enjoying luxury hotels at $70 a night. Those were the days. And I remember quite often at this time of the year, right, when I would come from a trip, I would park my truck in Cambridge, and then I would get into my Charger or Challenger, and I would drive, what is it, like 80 clicks, 50 miles to Niagara Falls, Ontario, because over there they had like so many hotels, right? Because it's a tourist destination, but in winter they're empty. And I remember I was able to get, like, you know, medium quality hotel, $50 a night, or 35 US, you know, way cheaper than in Cambridge or Toronto. But yeah, winters were good, especially during COVID, when basically they shut down the border, right? There was no American tourists. Man, I was making a killing in terms of saving money on hotels, you know. It was pretty much like renting an apartment. So hotels were so cheap, you know. Even in downtown Toronto, it was like $70-$80 for some hotel that usually costs like $200-$300. Because later, when COVID was over, I was just checking out of curiosity, like that hotel I was staying right in downtown near the lake in Toronto, like $300, $400, $500, you know. So those were good times. But yeah, people keep leaving me comments about go back to trucking. Honestly, I have no desire to drive a truck. I don't know. I think I exhausted that urge that I had since I was a kid to be a long-haul trucker. I love driving, but at one point when I was trucking, I realized that I don't have to drive a huge 105-foot long vehicle to enjoy driving. I enjoy driving, I enjoy traveling. I'm a very social person. I need people. And actually, I think for me, like something like a taxi would be more fun, because I enjoy talking to people. Whereas, when you're a trucker, all you have is some other poor soul on the other end of the line, right? And we're driving, and I call a buddy on the phone, and we're like on the phone for like an hour. We're driving, and time passes quickly when you're on the phone with somebody. All right, what do we have here? Okay, so you see things are changing, because this thing updates all the time. So you see, like now over there, what, 450? Wow. See, now in Central, Calgary South, 350 added to every delivery, and now another $1 is added. No, wait, I don't know, but it says 450. But I'm sitting here north, and that black line, that's the Highway 2. See, this is the airport. So this is Calgary North, Calgary East. This is Nose Hill Park. West of here, it's called Calgary Northwest. This is West, and this is Central. But I don't like going there because, it's crazy traffic. And but I did find, actually, one thing that might help somebody new, maybe, who's coming to Calgary, is that even downtown, but you have to be very careful with signs. But when there's a sign, it'll say something like 3 hours parking allowed, let's say, I don't know, 9 to 5. But then some of those signs at the very bottom, if you're not paying attention, you can get a ticket, because at the bottom it says payment required. There's like a line, like at the very bottom there's a line that says payment required. Usually when it's like 3 hours. If it's 2 hours, quite often that line is missing, which means like 2 hours, let's say, I don't know, 9 to 6, and Monday MON-FRI, right? And there's no payment. And so you can just drive around, even downtown, and be very careful about these signs. And then also one cool thing, it's getting chilly. One cool thing I found is that at least they're not being idiots about this. They understand that people have to make deliveries, like people have to bring stuff to restaurants, right? Or pick up, coffee, pizza. So next to many restaurants, there's a loading zone sign. It says no parking, basically P crossed out, but under that it says loading zone, 20 minutes max or 30 minutes max. I love it. I never saw something like this in Toronto. Over there it's all like no parking, no stopping. You're supposed to be just, walking around, park your car somewhere 2 kilometers away and just walk around. And this Jiffy Lube in front of me, cool guys, right? That's where I got my winter tires mounted on these steel rims with no lineup, no appointments. So I'm definitely coming back here in the spring, bringing my all-season tires. Yeah, really happy with these tires. I started making a list of products I use that maybe I can start, investing into stocks, even though I have no money right now. But, they say you have to pay yourself like 10%, or if you guys read that The Richest Man in Babylon, that was the main rule. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. What do you mean? Well, what do you have to show for your income for the last year? And so that's the rule was to save 10% and invest it. And so I wrote a list here, you know, like, how do you look for stocks? You just look at what you use yourself, right? Like I use Apple, MacBook, you know, I have iPhone, but Apple stock is like $1,000 per share. And then I use Amazon, also super expensive, but then I have satellite radio. And then recently I read a lot about real estate stocks, you know, REIT, R-E-I-T, REIT, maybe banks, but those usually also expensive. Mortgage companies, cable internet, cellular phone providers, construction equipment makers, you know, like, but again, these are crazy expensive, you know, like Caterpillar, John Deere, Bobcat. And also, you know, the new trend, AI, right? So I started looking into what AI companies are not very expensive. Actually, there was a story about a school bus driver. So many guys are making fun of me for doing this, right? But there was a story in the press. If you can Google it, you'll probably find it. School bus driver dies and leaves like $2 or $3 million to a charity because he was single. I think he had no kids. He was always like very modest, you know, didn't have a Jeep like me, you know. No, I'm kidding, of course. This is not a luxury vehicle, but actually this is a luxury trim of a Jeep because this is the most expensive Trailhawk Elite. This is the most expensive version of this little Jeep, but I love it, I'm telling you. This is the best vehicle for this kind of business, for this part of the country. Like, I'm telling you, I cannot do donuts in this thing. It has so much grip, it's unbelievable. And so this school bus driver was driving a bus, you know, how much did they make? I don't know. Here it's like $20 an hour, and they work probably 5-6 hours a day, you know. That's why you see so many usually, you know, stay-at-home moms driving these buses. And somehow he found a way to invest a couple of bucks every time, probably from his paycheck. And when he died, and I think they were saying he had been holding all these like major companies, you know, nothing risky, just big giant stocks, because he was doing it for a long time, like Microsoft, you know, Amazon, Apple, stuff like that. And so when he died, he had $2 million. But again, which brings us to the point, what's the point of having money when you die? Okay, let me say that again. What is the point of living a super modest, poor life, and then you die and you leave $2 million to your charity? Why you cannot, you know, use it? So, I don't know. Just like one stand-up comedian was saying about health, right? He says, I don't want to look good in the coffin. He says, what's the point? I want to live the life so that I exhaust all reserves, you know, like basically, I want to look ugly. I don't want people to say, hey, he looks like he's alive, you know, he says. So I feel the same about money, you know. I don't care if I die broke. If I die broke, that means that I lived the life to the fullest, you know, like I don't have any kids. Like, okay, let's say I do this Ubering, door dashing, and then I croak and I hit the bucket or whatever, and people say, oh man, Captain Sergei left $5 million to his favorite church. Screw this, you know. I'd rather go buy a Ferrari, you know, and drive around. And then maybe I'll leave that second-hand Ferrari to the church. That would be okay. But I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor first, myself. All right, so what's going on? Or, you see this? I'm still in the wrong zone, but this one is usually, that's a very nice area. That's where lots of rich people live. Northwest, Calgary Northwest, just west of the Nose Hill Park. You know, Airdrie is very busy, $3.50 extra for each delivery. This one is busy, this is very busy, $4.50 I think they're paying. That's what is that, Southwest, West. Yeah, I see, like here it shows me, this is Calgary Northwest, but I'm in the north. Dash now is unavailable at this time. Check back or schedule to dash at another time. And yet now they say now to 10 a.m. $3.50 added to every delivery. Peak pay. Peak pay my ass. There's no peak. All right, screw this. Let's see what these guys are doing. These are the bad guys. They have some opportunities here. $6.72 delivery, $5.82 delivery, 3 stops, 3 stops. So 3 stops mean there's 1 stop for pickup and 2 drop off. But $6 delivery, and you have to drive like half of Calgary. You know, like the distance I can see on the map here. Like these guys. Oh, honestly, I began to hate these guys. They're just, that's just slavery. This Uber. But let's see. Okay, do we have any hot spots? You see, they give you all the hot spots again south. See, like here, $5 total, 8.7 kilometers. It'll take 21 minutes, so times 4, that's like, let's say 20 bucks an hour. No. So when I have Uber open, I just sit like this all day long and cancel, 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 cancel. I think yesterday I missed one. Finally there was one. Oh, wait a second. There was one, 11 bucks for 2 kilometers. Like total kilometers to the pickup and the drop. 2 kilometers, just over a mile. 11 bucks. So that's what it should be. It should be 3, 4, 5 bucks a mile. I mean, yeah, well, if you translate into US currency and US distances. But most of the time it's like this. What the? Most of the time it's like $5 for 8 kilometers. And that's with the expected tip. And by the way, with the expected tip, one tip for anybody who's interested in this, I noticed that they always know, when somebody gives you a tip, they always know what it should have been. Let's say if it says $5 and then you deliver and then you see, okay, $3, that's like the minimum base pay they charge people. And it sits at $3 for like an hour, and then boom, all of a sudden you see a text message says you received a tip of $2. So now it's $5, and then it says original estimate was $5. So how do they know exactly how much the customer would tip? And I finally understood how it works. So basically, when somebody orders the delivery on Uber, they put the tip in, if any. But Uber does not show you that tip for 1 hour after delivery, because they give the customer 1 hour to change the amount. So you deliver, if the customer is not happy, they can actually delete the tip. Or if they are super happy, they can change the amount, give you more money. It actually happened a couple of times, saying, hey, their estimate was, you know, $10, but the customer gave you $5 extra, now it's 15, you know. And so that's how they know. And the same with DoorDash. They don't show you the tip right away, but they actually show you the full amount. And then when you deliver, you click on complete, and it tells you. It just on the screen it says, okay, $3 base pay, you know, $7 tip. And these guys over here, whenever you are in this area, like west, usually this one, west or no, northwest or west, that's where, you know, the super rich live. And I was there quite a few times. I got like $10 tip, you know, on a $4 delivery, and then you get $10 tip. And the other day I was in this west area that's now very busy. It was 800 meters, half a mile distance from the restaurant to the lady's house. But again, it's super rich area, and the base was like $4. She gave me $25 tip. I kid you not, because I see that like it shows $30. I'm like, wait, and it's one trip. I'm like, how did I make $30 on one trip? Usually you don't make that much, right? And then I look there, I click on details, and it says $4.50 base pay, $25, or $5 base pay, $25 tip. And I wanted to say thank you, but unfortunately on DoorDash there's no option. You cannot send you know, thank you. Whereas on Uber, when the tip is finalized after an hour, Uber sends you a text message, you know, hey, congratulations, you just received, you know, like $5 tip, click here to say thank you. And so on their end, the customer will see a note saying, hey, the driver Sergei, thank you for the tip, you know, which I think is good. It reminds people to tip you, you know. Well, but you see here, McDonald's, the drive-through, both lanes are busy. So McDonald's is doing well. Kinjo is still closed. Everything is closed here except Starbucks. Maybe I'll go inside, but I have my own coffee, so see, it was just an experiment to come out this early, but like I said, I need to make some money. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you guys here earnings. So this is this week. Today's Friday. That's all I did in 4 days. $365. That's my, and of course I'm a contractor, right? So that's before taxes, before gas. So, and on Uber, I'm sitting at weekly summary, $100. So total is what? How much was there? So 465. So last week I was at 700. So 465. So I need to do 250 over this next 3 days to be at the same level. And in other news, occasionally I check on my brother, and we have not spoken a word to each other since the war started in Ukraine. And I know that YouTube stopped paying them. You know, anybody who's based in Russia, YouTube still puts advertisements on their videos, but they don't pay them any revenue. And I was wondering if he's doing okay, so I went to his channel, and he's still doing some videos. He still has the same Skoda, you know, owned by Volkswagen, Skoda SUV. Now it's like 5 years old, and he's just doing some driving around, you know, kind of like what I do, like basically driving, talking, shows the snow. They also have very, you know, cold temperature, but at least I could see that he was doing okay, that he's still alive. Man, it's funny how the same thing happened with my dad, my late dad, and his brother. Like, he also had a brother. What's he? Yeah, Vladimir. Yeah. So my father was Mikhail, and his brother was Vladimir, Dядя Volodya, Uncle Vladimir. And at some point they stopped talking, because I remember they were always, that one was older, and I don't remember who did it first, my younger dad or that guy, but they had an issue as well. Kind of like same here with my brother. You know how sometimes it's with siblings, right? You just decide, that's it, I don't want to talk to you. But I mean, it's just sad, you know. This is sad. But yeah, it was my fault, of course. You know, I sent him an email saying, hey, since I'm not gonna I don't want to talk to you unless this thing is over in Ukraine. And I said, and I think I was tipsy, I was drinking some wine, so you know, you have to be careful when you're writing emails and you're not completely sober. And so I think I wrote something like, say hello to your buddy Putin, you know. And so I guess he got offended, and that's it. We stopped communicating. Even though after that I sent him a few emails, you know. Okay, so like probably 5 months after that, I said, okay, Alex, so you wanna maybe share some news? What's going on, you know? No reply. Now he's ignoring me. So it's okay. All right. So any changes here? Nothing. Calgary North is dead. Now Northwest is dead. East is dead. Downtown is dead. Time now 6:32. Son of a gun. Well, it's 7:45, and I got finally my yeah, so it's 7:45, and for some reason my GoPro that I recorded the first part of this video with,
turn left onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
The GoPro died because I think I left it in the car while I went inside Starbucks to wait, and I checked the battery, it says 45%. What? I only recorded, I don't know, for half an hour, and then it said in the cold, and when I started
on Country Hills Boulevard Northeast for 3 kilometers.
And when I started the GoPro, it just died after 1 second. So now we're using, of course, my dash cam, and the car gets cold so fast. I was inside maybe for like 15-20 minutes, and I did get a couple of, you know, BS offers from Uber, so I just shut it down. So today we're only gonna do DoorDash. I'm just sick and tired of you know, pushing that cancel button on pretty much all Uber offers. And so now I'm heading over to a real Canadian superstore, which is like 3.5 clicks away from where I was sitting. And it's excellent that I'm going west, because the further west you go in Calgary, the more money you can make. And this is also probably one of my favorite activities, because it's a delivery. I don't have to go inside, right? I just sit there in the designated spot, call them, and they bring out the groceries. And this one pays 15 bucks, and it takes me further west. Like the customer is somewhere further west. And I was in the bathroom when I got this offer, and then 10 minutes later I was still not moving. And it's funny that DoorDash sends you a little notification. It says, oh, need help? You don't seem to be moving in the right direction. So I click cancel on that little message. So now I'm moving. So basically they always keep tabs on you, you know, they know what you're doing. But yeah, it's not far. Like, this is another great area. Lots of restaurants here. A&W, Wendy's. There's a big Sobeys retail store. There's a noodle box. There's some French sweets over there, like I picked up a couple of times on the right. And this Mastermind Toys. On the right, the sign says Mastermind Toys on that Country Hills Town Center. A couple of times I delivered there. Somebody likes to order What did they order? I think they ordered Edo, Japan. Something from Edo, Japan or Starbucks. Oh, and I just learned a trick which might be of interest to somebody who wants to try this crazy business. Because the problem with DoorDash that I prefer is that you cannot start, doing trips unless the area you are in is color-coded
In 300
red.
meters, turn right onto Harvest Hills Boulevard North.
So if you're in an area and it's all
200
grayed
meters,
out,
turn right onto Harvest Hills Boulevard North.
it does not allow you to go online. And so I just watched the video. Turns out you can beat that system
Turn right onto Harvest Hills Boulevard North.
by using the schedule feature. And I tried that a couple of times and
Continue on Harvest Hills Boulevard North for 800 meters.
wasn't sure exactly how it works, but this guy in the video, in a quick video, he explains that that's how you can go online or dash even if your area is not busy. So all you have to do is you have to look for tomorrow in that scheduling section. Let's say I want to schedule work in Calgary North, where I am right now. And he says you go online, you go there in the app and you see what time is available, let's say for tomorrow, and let's say they only give you like
In 300 meters, turn right.
hour or 2 hours, right? But he says you can actually change that time. Of course, it depends, what country you're in, I guess, because I think he's in the States. But one trick in there, it says, let's say you go in and it shows that, yeah, Calgary North is available tomorrow from 8 to 10. And he says you can actually go and you can change that, let's say 8 to 2 or 8 to 3 or 7 to 3. And this way, 15 minutes before
Turn right, then turn left.
your scheduled time, it will allow you to go online, even if that area is no longer busy. Like they think it's busy today, but then come tomorrow it's not busy. Okay, so now I just need to find those designated spots. Okay, there they are on the left. I'm just gonna go there, park, and wait for the delivery person to bring out the groceries. But first I have to call them. Okay, which spot are we gonna be? We're gonna be in spot. What's my lucky spot? No, number 1. Numero uno. Or as they say in Russia, номер один. I am number 1. Okay, so now we exit from arrived at store. Oh, wait a second, it's shop and deliver. Oh, my bad. But it's only 8 items. Son of a gun. So, hold on. So I cannot park here.
Voice recording enabled. Recording started.
So I'm done with my shopping. It was only 8 items. Took maybe half an hour. And now the distance shows, the distance to the customer shows as 3.6 clicks. or just over 2 miles. And we're going outside of 201, but it's okay because that's a good area. So I have to go north on Harvest Hills Boulevard. The steering wheel is already, so I'm going to turn on my seat heat and steering wheel kit, shift and drive, and we can go. And I'm gonna check out, I was just talking to the cashier and she was asking me questions about points. Do you collect points? And I said no, I'm doing this for a DoorDash, so they don't allow us to collect points because I'm not paying for this, right? And she says try, and she gave me a name of a
Turn right onto Harvest Hills Boulevard North.
And she gave me a name of a different app where people can also do the same thing, but she says you can make more money. So
continue on Harvest Hills Boulevard North for 3 kilometers.
So I made a mental note of the name of the app. I'm gonna go check it out. And actually, when I was shopping, I was looking for canola oil, and I don't see any word like that on the signs above the aisles, you know. And one of the store workers, employees, asked me, she said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "The oil." And she says, "Aisle 7." Like, it always amazes me how these people know, you know, all the aisles by heart. You just ask them, okay, where's cookies? Aisle 3. Where's flour? You know, aisle 4 or something like that. And of course, the more you shop at the same store, you know, you get used to the layout. And this is a real Canadian superstore, so it's very nice. Well, everywhere, like Walmart. And these guys, most employees are super helpful. If you cannot find something, you can ask anybody, you know, in a store uniform, and they just go and actually show you. They drop what they're doing, and they walk you to the spot. Like, I was looking for this baking something, some kind of a little packets, you know. I could not find it, and she just walked me. It was in the same aisle, like 10 meters back. So, you know, some of these things, if you don't know how they look, because the picture can show that, let's say, there was some kind of a evaporated milk with a picture of a cow on the front, yellow can. If you look at the picture, sometimes you don't notice the weight, and it looks like that's like a huge, like a gallon can, or, you know, a liter, 2-liter can, but whereas in reality this one was like, I don't know, 200 grams, half a pound. And so sometimes it's difficult to find what you're looking for just based on the picture. So usually now what I do is I go by color. I look at the picture and say, okay, yellow can, cow on the front, and I start looking for yellow can with a cow. And so, oh yeah, and so these guys actually, what's cool about DoorDash, unlike Uber, when you do this shop and pay, DoorDash, I don't know, at least with this, oh man, I'm in the wrong lane. This lane exits. I need to stay left. So DoorDash shows you the aisle. That's like, you know, Uber just gives you the department number where they think this is, and quite often it's wrong, or they don't they don't even have that kind of a department, but DoorDash says aisle 7 oil. You know, that's what I couldn't find at first, right? And so yeah, I'm telling you, I'm now a big fan of DoorDash, and my acceptance rate actually is too high. So now I can start refusing orders. All you gotta do is just do not let the acceptance rate go below 70. But I'm at 90% right now, so I can refuse lots of cheap orders, and I'll still be given priority, you know, over other drivers. I just need to get to that 200 deliveries. They say you need 100 in the last month and 200 live deliveries, like all. And I don't have that one yet. So anyway, as you can see, it's pretty chilly in Calgary. Temperature now is minus 21 Celsius, 252 Kelvin. And there was lots of snow a couple of days ago. Some areas got more than the others. Oh, now my seat is hot. Now look at this guy. Do you know where your lane is? Yeah, he was drifting into my lane.
In 400 meters, turn left onto 144th Avenue Northwest.
So now we are beyond the ring road, but this is still Calgary. You know, in many cities, the ring road or the bypass you take to go around, that's the border, the city limits. But here, it's like massive construction everywhere.
Turn left onto 144th Avenue Northwest.
Well, I hope it's not an apartment. Oh yeah, it's a house. Okay, great. Because if it's an apartment, I'd have to deal with entry codes, you know, find the elevator. Because some of these places, you know, you walk like for 10 minutes trying to find the elevator. Like seriously. I was in some luxury condo multi-story apartment buildings in downtown, and the lobby is so huge. It's okay, there's no signs like which way do you go to find an elevator, and the guy is like on 18th floor, so no way I'm climbing, you know, the stairs.
In 800 meters, turn left onto Carringview Drive Northwest.
So saw my an apartment for sale in my building on realtor.ca. Same size, same floor, same building, except that apartment has underground parking assigned to it, whereas I don't have underground parking. So they're asking $245,000. Okay. So I paid.
Turn left onto Carringview Drive Northwest, then your destination will be on the left.
173 or 175, well, of course with a mortgage, but in October 22. So now, so let's say we deduct, I don't know, 5,000 for the underground parking. So let's say my apartment now is worth 240. So
Your destination is on the left.
that's 70,000
The
over.
customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
So at least I did something right. Alright, so let me go drop this off at their doorstep, and we are done with delivery number 1. And guess how much tip did I get? I got 50 cents from the store. For some reason there was some kind of a bonus, and then I got $3.50 from DoorDash because now it's a promotion, and I got 50 cents from the customer. 50 cents, man. Not 10, not 20, 50. So I probably should even make it a short day today and just finish at lunchtime, because this is amazing. But of course this is a joke, right? 50 cents, man. Some people are so freaking cheap, you know? It's unbelievable. So yeah, turns out the area where I dropped it off, it was not. Oh, actually, this is the spot I was telling you guys about. You see that guy on the left there? He's sliding all over the place. That's the spot on the left where people are turning this way. That's where it's like sheer ice and no sand, no nothing. Okay, so now basically I gotta cross over 201, the ring road, and then I'll be back in my Calgary Northwest. Yeah, my butt is hot because my seat works very well. The seat heating. So I'm gonna pretty much go back to the same Real Canadian Superstore. Because that's a good spot. Now, one cool thing about this gig is that I learn where the good restaurants are, you know. And what happened before is that somebody would they would send me an order to pick up at the restaurant, and I go in and I look at the menu while I'm waiting, and you know, I look at the atmosphere, at the servers, what kind of people are dining in, if it has a sitting area, and then if I like it, you know, when I have a lunch break or something, or after work, I come back, and that's how I found that what is it called, like Italian street food restaurant. I forgot the name, but it's in the same plaza where I'm going back, where the Real Canadian Superstore is. Now this guy on the right, he has a sign in the back, yellow sign, yellow background, black letters, new driver, and then below, thanks for your patience. And he's driving a brand new Honda Civic, holding the steering wheel with both hands at 10 and 2 position. Man. And it's a young kid, looks like Chinese or Japanese or Korean. They love their Hondas. But actually it looks alright. Looks like judging by the tail lights, it's a 23 or 24 model. But it's much lower. Like the ground clearance is much lower than on my Jeep. So, and I think he has all-season tires, judging from the tread. Like, it's not super duper strong like in my case. Son of a gun, he beat me. I had a feeling he wanted to change lanes. You know, when you can feel how somebody starts, you know, moving towards your lane, and they start wiggling because they keep looking in the mirror, and the car starts slowly wiggling left, right, left, right. And as you can see with this stuff, you often have to drive back. Like, there's always, as we call them in trucking, deadhead miles. Unless you end up, what actually happens also often, you end up in another area which is busy, and DoorDash sends you a message. It says, would you like to switch? Let's say I was in Calgary North, that's where I am right now. Let's say my delivery took me to Calgary Northwest, and DoorDash says, would you like to switch to this area? It's busy. And you click yes, and it switches you, and now it gives you orders in that area, unless you want to say don't switch, and then you drive back to your original area. Well, the guy on the right also has nice looking taillights. I always like good taillights on a vehicle, you know. That's Lexus SUV RX 350. Looks good. Oh, yesterday I saw a car ahead of me, and there was something hanging near the right rear wheel. Something was broken, and we stopped at the light. I ran out, knock on the window. Of course, you should not do that in US because you'll be shot. But here, you know, we don't have guns, or if we have guns, we don't have the ammo. So I just knock on the door. There's some lady scared her to death, because, you know, how many times you're sitting at the light and somebody knocks on your window, right? And I motioned with my hand, you know, like lower the window, and surprisingly she did, because again, if this was US, she would probably raise her .45 Colt at me, but here she just lowered the window and she's just put her hand on her heart because she got scared, because, you know, I'm a scary guy, right? Scary looking guy. And I said, ma'am or miss, there's something hanging under your car. I think it's a broken shock. You might want to take a look at that. And she says, oh, really? I said, yeah, it's dragging on the ground. I could see it from the back. So I always notice these things, you know, like as a former, well, not a former, as a professional driver, right? So I drove for a living, now I drive for a living. Oh, and that's that restaurant I was talking about, that Italian street food. It's called Via Cibo. Straight ahead, Italian street food, but I think it opens at 11. And then straight ahead we have Thai Express, which often is quite busy, but looks like they also are closed. But this is a good area, because here we have further down in the same plaza we have Starbucks, we have Pizza 73, there's some salad place, then further down there's Edo Japan, Mucho Burrito. So I know all the restaurants now, you know, that's cool. If somebody says, hey, let's go for lunch, where you want to go? Say, okay, depends which kind of food you like, you know. But this Via Cibo, man, mostly it's like sandwiches, but so nice. Like real, taste, unusual, Italian. And the kitchen is right there, so you can see how they cook. That's the concept. They say we wanted to enjoy the food right from the moment we start making it. And it's right on the other side, where like a short glass, and you can see how they're cooking. I like that, so highly recommend it. If anybody comes to Calgary, just check out this Via Cibo off Country Hills Boulevard, just Country Village Road. It's an intersection of Country Village Road and Harvest Hills Boulevard. Well, there was nothing on DoorDash, so I had to use Uber, and got somebody's having a birthday, and I got an order from Starbucks. $11.50. 7.1 kilometers. And how do I know it's birthday? Because part of the order was birthday cake. Now we'll be going south from the area where I'm at, but it's still Calgary North, so I don't have to change zones. So I'll just show you driving through Calgary, cruising. Yeah, the new series, cruising with Sergei. And I'll try to find some interesting topics to discuss. This is Harvest Hills Boulevard. In this area, most of the streets have the word hills in them. Country Hills Boulevard, Harvest Hills Boulevard. So it looks like the architect had an obsession with hills. He probably has a big girlfriend. Just a guess on my part. The right lane here on this stretch has they were doing something construction-wise, and it has like huge holes in the pavement, like a square holes, as if somebody just took out some kind of like a huge stamping machine and it just stamped a block of pavement out. I don't know. And it's like 3 inches deep. Some of the
Turn right on Country Hills Boulevard Northwest.
some of the roads here are just awful. Oh, cops on the left. What do we have? Blue unmarked sedan, Ford, of course, with steel rims, so you know it's a cop. And he has prisoner style bars in the rear windows. Yeah, most civilians don't have that. Some do, but not often, right? When you see bars, vertical bars on the window, that's not a good sign. But yeah, so basically here, somebody suggested I do a video about differences between Ontario and Alberta. Since I've been here, I spent like 20 years in Ontario, from 97 to 22, 23 years, yeah. And then I moved here in October 22, so now it's just over a year. And so now, you know, since this is my second winter here, right, I can, and a lot of people are moving here to especially to Calgary. And so I can talk about some differences and similarities, like what feels different between Toronto. Well, first off, it's not as busy. Let's say if you compare Toronto, like a big city like this,
600 meters keep right toward Bennington Trail using the right lane.
this one is not as busy. So it's still okay, you know. It's not like driving in New York City, whereas Toronto quite often felt like that. If you know, I was in Cambridge, like 70 clicks away or 80 clicks away, right? But on weekends, I would often go to downtown, maybe do some photography or something like that.
Keep right toward Bennington Trail, then keep left.
I think this is where they want me to go.
Keep left toward Bennington Trail south, then turn left on Bennington Trail northwest.
So roads are similar in quality, but Calgary definitely feels like a newer city because
Turn left on Bennington Trail northwest.
you know, everything is wider. Like there's much more space. You know, I don't know. Most properties are bigger. And also, in terms of employment, of course, there's a lot of construction going on around Calgary. But you see, I'm not able to find a job because I only had, like 2 months of experience with a skid steer. But every day I'm looking at that Indeed.ca listings, you know. It would be ideal to find some kind of a part-time construction job. I don't want to do like 12 hours, but I would definitely be happy if somebody gives me like 4-6 hours a day, you know. That would be perfect. And then I can still do taxi, I can do photography, I can do DoorDash, I can do freight brokerage, but it would really help me out to find some kind of a part-time job in construction. But Alberta is all about construction and oil. And also when I'm looking on Indeed, you know, when I was searching for, let's say, show me all Canada, because I was thinking maybe, you know, I can relocate somewhere. and there's quite a few jobs in Ontario, like for the same wheel loader or skid steer, but they pay like 30% less than what you can get here, you know. So Alberta pays better. Also here, they were saying, I'm not 100% yet, but they're saying that Alberta has the lowest income tax in the entire Canada.
In 600 meters, make a slight right turn on Berkshire Boulevard Northwest using the right lane.
And so other differences, alcohol is
Slight right turn on Berkshire Boulevard Northwest.
alcohol sales in Ontario are pretty much all done through liquor stores, LCBO, which is through the government. And then recently they allowed,
In 600 meters, turn left on Bennington Boulevard Northwest using the left lane.
they allowed mostly beer sales at large retailers such as Walmart, the same Real Canadian Superstore, Loblaws. Whereas here you don't see that. So beer in Ontario you can buy pretty much anywhere, but liquor like whiskey and wine, most of the time you need to go to a government store, kind of like what they have in Pennsylvania. Here alcohol, it's all
Turn left on Bennington Boulevard Northwest.
it's all private stores, and what that caused is that these liquor stores here are on every corner. You know, whereas in Ontario you have to drive somewhere to find a liquor store or a liquor LCBO retailer. And like in rural areas here, every block has a liquor store. And for some reason, because there's so many of them, and yet I find that prices on alcohol and beer are higher than in Ontario, even though here there's only there's no provincial tax, right? Whereas in Ontario there's a 13% tax on everything. Here it's only 5%, and still prices are higher. Gas and diesel, definitely cheaper.
600 meters, turn right on Berkeley Road Northwest.
Definitely cheaper than in Ontario. And I mentioned this before, road maintenance sucks in Alberta. So that's why everybody uses winter tires, and you see much more pickup trucks and
Turn right on Berkeley Road Northwest.
and SUVs over here than in Ontario, because small cars don't work very well here in the snow.
Just ahead, turn right on Berkeley Drive Northwest.
Whereas my Jeep can go anywhere. That's been my feeling. I've been driving on the road, you see, like this? There's snow that's been somewhat plowed, but it's all covered by snow.
Turn right on Berkeley Drive Northwest.
But this beast can go anywhere. And so people were right when
Just ahead, turn left on Hunterview Drive Northwest.
when I came here with my Dodge Charger, people were saying, hey, that's not the right vehicle for Alberta. And I did not know any better, but now that I know that
Turn left on Interview Drive northwest.
how poorly the roads are maintained. You definitely need a 4x4 with winter tires here in winter. Man, where is this house? Like, I've been driving forever here. Oh, school buses. You see this? So you need class 2 license if it's more than 24 passengers capacity.
In 300 meters, drop off on the left.
Alright, so let's go meet our birthday girl. Give her the cake and some nice Starbucks. Okay, where's my house? 78, 42, 78, 38, so... Okay, I'm looking at the house numbers.
Drop off on the left.
Oh yeah? Where? I think it's this one here on the left. No. Next one. I'm just looking at the numbers. Alright, that one. Yep. Just find some parking here. Alright, let's go drop off our Starbucks to the happy birthday girl. Well, just finished shop and pay mission at the Walmart over here. 30 units. It took me about an hour. But I'm getting better and better because I often at this Walmart, you know, and actually, I don't know, nobody bothers you. You just, people give you advice where to find something, you know. So I got lazy with that card. That was my card I used on the left. But I got it for free from a guy who was sitting on the in the middle of the snow there as well. But anyway, so 30 units, but the only reason I agreed, and this is a Uber load or order, I agreed because I was paying 35 bucks, but the distance from here to the customer is 1.9 kilometers. Basically 1.3 miles probably, you know?
Turn right on 64 Avenue Northeast.
So for 35 bucks,
Turn right.
it doesn't sound like much, but actually it's a pretty good haul. So I should be a millionaire in no time. And now I get bags. I don't ask them because they never buy bags, but now I just ask you know, you have to get bags because, again, I checked
Turn left on 11th Street Northeast.
I checked the instructions on this delivery and it says leave at the door. And of course, when they don't buy bags, that's pretty problematic. You don't want to dump everything on the doormat, and it's often covered in snow. That's a sure way.
Turn left on 64 Avenue Northeast.
That's a certain way not to get any tips at all. Because this 35 bucks, that includes the tip, right? That the customer kind of like preempted. Remember how I was explaining they have an hour to change their mind, either reduce it or add more. And so if you do something stupid like that, just dump all the food stuff on the ground without any bags, I'm pretty sure that people will be, you know, pissed off. And so now I don't care. I don't text them anymore. You know, I used to text them, hey, you want me to buy any bags? Now I just ask the cashier, I say, okay, could you please give me like bags? And you know, they're not cheap anymore, right? Because I don't know, in the States maybe they still give you free bags, but here nobody has bags anymore. You have to buy them, you know, and they're not like plastic bags. They're made from fabric. So I think like I got 2 small ones. I think they're like 50 cents each, and then the big one is like $1. But what am I supposed to do? Oh, by the way, straight ahead, I don't know if you can see it. You see that thinning cat sign on the left? As soon as I saw that, I remembered I loaded here. No, I delivered an excavator here. I remember I had a booster, you know, and then I asked him to load the booster on my trailer. But back then I had no idea where I was, you know. I think I walked over to the Walmart to buy some food. But I slept there. I came the night before, and they had a driveway there, and there's a like 24/7 security. I said, guys, can I just stay here, because I cannot park on the street? And you know, I had a Jeep and a booster, so I was I'm pretty sure I was 105 feet long. So those are the memories, you know. Like sometimes I'm driving somewhere and I'm like, holy macro, I was here with my truck. But I'm telling you, Calgary now, after a year and what, 3 months, feels like home.
In 600 meters, turn right on Hunterhorn Road Northeast.
It's like I'm supposed to be here. Oh, and another big, I started talking about differences between Ontario and Alberta. To see that beauty, you know, like mountains and those nice landscapes, you have them in Ontario, but you have to drive very far north. You know, like we had Algonquin Park. I always wanted to go there, but it's like 300 clicks north of Toronto. There's the same thing. Like, well, they're not as big mountains as these ones. These are like real mountains, right? Especially between.
Turn right on Hunterhorn Road Northeast.
Especially between BC and Alberta at the border there. These are mountains. But in Ontario, you have some very big hills in the north there, right? Alongside Highway 1117. But yeah, I think this is a good deal, you know, like $35 for 1.9 clicks. If they give me the
turn right on Hunterhorn Terrace Northeast.
If they give me the anticipated shop and pay, forget it. I'm not going back there. They want me to go back to Walmart and shop for 20 items for $10. No way, Jose. I'm done with shopping for the day, because I put my DoorDash on pause, because I don't want to, you know, if DoorDash offers me something, I don't want to lose it, since I'm now under the Uber order, right? And so I
turn left on Hunterhorn Lane Northeast.
So I paused the DoorDash, but now it shows busy. So now I'm gonna focus on DoorDash. Okay, so where's our big shopper lady here? Okay, should be on the left side somewhere.
Drop off on the left.
Yes, ma'am. Uber. 325, 325. Where's 325? 335, 327. What the heck? 325. Where's the entrance? I think there's a gate there. Alright, that's it. That was probably the last delivery I wanted to show you guys. Shop and pay.